Welcome everyone. Today we're going to be talking about JavaScript operators. Um, Before we talk about operators, I would also want us to talk about variables, the ways of declaring variable in JavaScript, variable scopes, data types, and the best practices in choosing variable names, the conventional ways of choosing variable names. And then also for you to have my kind of experience, I'm using VS Code as my text editor, and you must have to have Node.js installed in your platform. So you go to the Node.js official website, you can download the long-term support and then install it, and you have the same experience I am also having. Okay, now you can also read up some introduction, the history of JavaScript and all that. I really want this tutorial to be as short as possible. I'll be giving out some tutorials, but let it be. It is going to be topic based. Okay, so this time, without wasting much of our time, I want to. If you notice, I just created a folder. It has no file inside, so I want to create a file now. I call that app.js. It has JavaScript extension because it's a JavaScript file. Okay, so now when we talk about a variable in JavaScript, variable is just like it's just like a container for storing values. Let's say, for example, you're going out and you put your laptop in your bag, the charger, and some other stuffs inside the bag. So you go along with the bag. So the bag is more or less the variable name that has got stuffs inside. So that's exactly what variable is like. It's like a variable is like a container for storing um, storing values. And then one could ask, what kind of values can we store in a variable? That brings us to data types. We can store things like string, we can store numbers, we can store array, and the rest of them. So the example of a variable we have, you can say something like const name to be equal to, I want to store string, so I can say John Doe. Okay, so that's the name here is a variable name. So what this name is holding is John Doe. Let's say, for example, I copy this example and then I bring it out of the comment and then save and run the terminal. Yeah, so to see this here on the terminal, I have to send to the console. So console.log of a name. So you notice now what I'm carrying around is the name, which is the variable, the container itself, just like the bag. So, and to run the terminal, I have to type node and then the name of the file, which is app.js, but I can shorten it to app and to still give me that. Okay, so this is a typical example of a JavaScript variable. You have to have a keyword for the declaration. So there are different ways of declaring variable. We can declare using a let. We have var, we have const, and we have a let. So var was the initial one that was used, the old one. uh, so what var does, var was also used in both local and global scope, but as part of the ESCs, const and let was bettered. So, and const is usually used for constant variable, things you do not want to be changing in the course of the program, and let, and this is more suitable for global scope. And then let is used for a variable that you could change the value, you could update the value in the course of the program, and is also more suitable for the local scope. Okay, so then that brings us to what we call scopes, variable scopes. Variable scopes in JavaScript, and most of these things we are talking about, the same idea, the same knowledge cut across every programming language. Now the scope talks about where the variable is declared. Now if you notice the
name variable is declared in the global, like it's not inside a block of code. Okay, now I could have something like this, cause greet, and then I say it's wanted to be a function. Then I can say, let's say I say let name to be equal to Peter Doe. This time around I can say console.log of a Peter Doe, okay, of name rather. Okay, now if you notice I have name outside, which is the global scope, and I have another name inside, which is local scope. So anyone you declare inside the block of code is local. This name, the life of this name is only inside here. Yeah, it's only inside here. Now let me comment this. Let me comment the local scoped name, and when I want to also comment this, let it be that the only thing running is the function. I want to call the function greet. Okay, so in order for you to understand this much better, I want this to be, let's say, good day. Sorry, in the course of time I will explain some of these things. Okay, good day, then I mention name, and you're saying good day John Doe. You notice it's picking John Doe from the global. Okay, now let me enable this one inside the local name. It's going to say good day Peter Doe. So this one takes precedence when it exists, but when there is no name inside, the one outside becomes available for the function. Okay, so what I really want to use this to express is the scope. This is global scope and this is local scope. The function itself is also global scope because it is not existing inside another function, because you could have a function inside a function. That's higher order functions where a function is declared within a function. That talks, in that case we talk about closures. So I will also make a video on closure, but for now, this is like an introductory part. So I do not intend to drag you so far in this, but just to hint you and give you an idea. Let's say for example, in your house, in your compound, probably you live in a compound well fenced, and someone knocks at the door and say, please, I'm looking for Messi, Lionel Messi or C Ronaldo. You be like, but he doesn't live here. But you know him. He's a global fellow. They are global fellows. But if someone walks into the compound and mention the name of one of your siblings, you call your sibling. So it means the name exists within the compound, within the environment. The name of your sibling, that your sibling exists within the compound, but not outside, unless there is someone who also bears the same name, and when that person calls you, I don't know you, because that's not who you are looking for. So that's what the analogy I want to use for local variable and the locally scoped variable and globally scoped variable. Okay, now when we talk about data types, talking about the type of data we are storing in a variable, we have string, we have a number, we have array, we have object, we have boolean. So all these are and many more. There are different data types you see, like string. Anyone enclosed in a quote, whether single or double quote, is a string. But if I have something like, let's say, const age to be equal to 20, yeah, you notice the 20 is a number. It's not in a quote. As soon as I do something like this, whether single or double quote, it becomes a string. Yeah, that's how JavaScript works. And how do we verify this? We have something we can use to verify the type of variable. So type of, you mentioned the variable for name. The type of we have for name is going to show string. You see string on the terminal, but I change this to age, and it shows that we have and not a string. Yeah, it's a string because of the quote. So I'm removing the quote right away so that it becomes a number. So I run again, it becomes a number. So that's how we can check the data types of variables. Array shows object. Object also shows object. Then boolean will also show you that it's a boolean. Let's say something like boolean is usually true or false. So we have this, say boolean. Some languages like Python will show bool. Okay, so that's the types of data we can store in variables. Okay, then to choose a variable name, that is usually best practice. Now you notice I wanted to save someone's name. I chose name. I could use a to be equal to John Doe, and it will still a will be a container holding John Doe. But the danger is this: what if this is just line 17? I've only written 17 lines of code. What if I've written like 500 lines of code and I've chosen so many variable names, and it happens that I want to reference John Doe somewhere down the line, and I forgot I use A or B, and I'll start asking or start coming back to check what I use, or should I declare a new one? So that's why it's good to let the name represent what you are storing inside. Age is for this. If I want to store his email, I can say something like const email. It's going to be a string, so I can say John Doe at gmail.com. So that's how to choose variable names. But there are also some other best practices. So I can say best ways to choose variable names. So the first one you can look at is what we call Pascal case. So in Pascal case, something like if you want to store first name goes this way. You notice the first and name are two different letters, so the two different words rather. The first letter of the first starts with capital letter, and the first letter of name also starts with capital letter. So but the one I so much use and I prefer is the camel case. Sorry. So the camel case goes this way. Camels, they have humps. So first name, so the very first word is all small letters, then subsequent one starts the first letter of the subsequent words starts with capital letters. That's camel case. And the next one is a snake case. So the snake case goes with underscores. So first and name this way, assuming is first name details. You can do details to be like this. Okay. So that's usually how the best practices in choosing variable names. Okay, then of course I told us that the main topic, the main focus of this tutorial is operators, JavaScript operators. But because I want to like throw light on these other areas, that's why I'm doing this. So okay, now JavaScript operators. So the operators they are used to carry out operations on variables. So operators are used to carry out operations on variables. So there are different operators we have in JavaScript. We have arithmetic operators. So the arithmetic operators has to do with we have plus, we have minus, we have multiplication, we have division, we have exponent, and we have modulus. So these are the major ones we use there. So we have after arithmetic operators, we have assignment, operators. Okay, in the assignment operators we have equality equal to single equality sign, we have plus equal to, minus equal to, we have multiply equal to, we have divide equal to, we have exponent powers equal to, and we have also modulus equal to. So, and then we have the next one is comparison operators. So in the comparison operators we have the double equality sign, please take note. We have the triple one, please also take note. We have greater than, we have less than, we have greater than or equal to, we have less than or equal to, we have not equal to. Okay, then the fourth one is logical operators. So we have you have the logical or and the and, which is the pipe and the ampersand. Okay, so let's take this one after the other. The first one is arithmetic operators. We use that to carry out all these arithmetics, add, minus, and the rest of them. So we are going to be declaring variables. Let a to be equal to, we can just say something like this. We say let b to be equal to, let's say 4, and then let c to be equal to 5. You can choose any number, so it's still the same thing works. So console.log of you can say a plus b. Yeah, a plus b. Of course, we know this should give us 7. So let me clear the terminal. Okay, so we have 7. That's this plus this. So we can have for minus, we can do c minus probably a or something. You can also say c minus 2. That also works. So it gives to that 5 minus 3 is giving us 2. For multiplication this time around, let me choose b with another number. So I can say b times 2. B is 4 times 2 is 8. So that's this. So for division, I can say let's say, let me do 12 divided by a. Yes, 12 divided by 3 is going to give us 4, right? Yeah. So for the powers, you can use you can choose any one of those. You can say c, which is 5 raised to power 2, which is give us 25. So, and then for the modulus, there is one tricky thing about the modulus operator. The percentage is not percent in here, is modulus. What this does is it will do a division, just like 5. When 5 is divided by 2, it will become 2 remainder 1. Yeah, so it doesn't care about the answer, it only cares about the remainder. So in this case it's going to give us 1, since we are saying remainder 1. So let's do something like this now. It's going to give us 1. Yeah, 1. So that's the way this works. If I use that to divide 4, it has no remainder, so it returns 0. So if I say b modulus of 2, I'm getting 0 because it has no remainder, just like I said. Okay, so that's that for that. So the next one is the assignment operator. We use this to assign values to variables or reassign values to variables. You could assign and reassign, Okay, so the first one, let's declare variables of interest. We can say let l or I to be equal to 2, and then let j to be equal to, let's say 4, and let k to be equal to, let's say 7. Yeah, any number can work. Okay, so the very first one has taken place, this one. by this. So this, we, based on mathematics background, we could say I is equal to 2, but in programming this simply means that 2 is assigned to I, 4 is assigned to J, 7 is assigned to K. So but now the plus and the assignment, so we can have something like console.log. We're going to be doing it this way. Let's try something else. So I is 2, right? So 2 plus and equal to 3. So 2 plus 3 is 5. So I has changed. So what is playing out here? We are more or less saying let I to be equal to I plus 3. Yeah. So this particular I, what is here is variable name. We are just declaring I as if it doesn't exist afresh. Then in this right hand side, this is called expression in JavaScript. So in this expression, you notice that I is referencing this, which is 2. We are more or less saying 2 plus, sorry, 2 plus 3, which is 5, and then it means I is equal to 5, like we are assigning 5 to I. So but the I is coming dynamically, it's not hard coded, dynamically referencing line 40. So in this case we are going to have 5. Yeah, 5. But then one tricky thing is that it assigns, it adds and assigns. So if you do console.log of I now, you are getting 5. I really want you to understand this. We can't use const to do that. You remember? Yeah. So I has changed now. Going forward from here, I is no longer 2, it is 5 now. So you remember when I was explaining const and let, I say we can, something you might change the value in the course of the program, you use let. So if you use const in this kind of situation, you get an error because it's supposed to be a constant variable and you are trying to change the value. It crashes the terminal, you see. So if you notice here, it's saying assignment to constant variable. So that's why let is the best person for this. Okay, so let me clear off the terminal and then let's continue. 5. So I only use this for illustration. So we can have k minus equal to, let's say, 3, which is 4. And again here we're going to be having something like let k, assuming, trying to do as if k is being redeclared, and then it's equal to k, which is referencing 7, and then say minus 3. So 7 minus 3 is 4. Assign it to 7. That is assign it to k. That's what's happening. So going forward, k has changed. It's no longer 7. It's now 4. So that's what applies to all of them, and you can have that log. So for the next one, which is times and this, so I can use j. I've not used j before, so I can say j times, and j is 4 times 2. I put equality so that it will update that. So it means 4 times 2 is 8, so we're having 8. So and then because it's 8, we can also reference that in the next one we're going to do. J is 8 now, so can use j and use divide. Yeah, so j divide, because I've lost track of most of those values. So let me use a neutral value, divide by 2. Yeah, so we're going to get 4, and 4 will be assigned to j back, just like rolling back to what we have here. So going to have 4 again. Then for exponent, you can also overflog j this time around. Since it is 4 squared, yeah, okay, so 4 squared is going to give us 16, I suppose. Yeah, 16. So j is now 16 going forward. If you do from line 47 is 16. Yeah, if you send to console here at 48 is going to give you 16. And then for the modulus, so since we have 16, we can use 3 to divide 16 now in the modulus way. So 3 can divide 15 to give us 5, so remainder 1, so j is going to be 1. So that's how this works. Okay, so please take good note of this. The reason why I'm not repeating this further is because I believe this has guided us. We are going to be seeing this and in action by the time we start looping through some numbers and some other things. So one thing I want to advise you, if you have any question, if there is anything you do not really understand very well, please reach out to me in the comment section. If I anytime I see that, I will attend to it, because some of these things, so the subsequent videos I'm going to be making, I'm going to be referencing this. So it's good that you have a proper hang on this so that you follow along, because if you don't, you lost, it will become so bored for you. Please, I really want you to have proper knowledge of this and flow along. Okay, so the next one is comparison operators. So this is used to compare two variables. Yeah, and in comparison operator, we are not returning number as a value, rather we are returning boolean, either true or false. It's just like saying 5 here, 7 here, asking is 5 less than 7. You're not going to return an answer, maybe 2 or something. It's either true or false that 5 is less than 7. Yeah, so let x to be equal to we can choose any number, just like I said. We select xy to be 3. Sorry, the x is not mathematics for those who have mathematics phobia. We're just using variable names. Even in mathematics, x could be your laptop, it could be your book or whatsoever. So instead of writing them in full, they chose to abbreviate them. Okay, so now we want to do comparison of the quality, and I want us to take proper care in this case too, because this is going to help us in the conditional statement and logical operators too. Okay, so I'm using double equality, and then I'm calling y. So this is the real equal to in programming, the double equality. So it's just like a question now: is x equal to y? Are they equal? Are they really the same? Okay, now let's do this. This is false. They are not the same, they are not equal. Okay, xyz. Then let me do another one. W. Permit me to introduce this because of this third one. Yeah, so I'm going to use 2, but 2 is going to be string. Yeah, now let's do this again. So I'm going to x and w, they are 2 and 2, so it's going to be true now because the values are the same. But then you remember what I said when you put a number in a quote, that it becomes a string. Okay, is this really misleading us? No, it is not. Okay, now this is saying true that they are equal, 2 and 2, but then what happened when we put the third equality sign? Yeah, the third equality sign is asking, are they equal number 2 and 2, and then also equal data type, number and number, or string and string? So that's where this is going to give us false now, because in as much as they are 2 and 2 same value, this is string, this is number, so it's going to give false. They are not the same, they are false. So whenever you see the third equality, just know that that is talking about data type. Okay, then we have for greater than. So it's a greater than is asking if x is greater than let's say z, which is false as well because it's not greater than that. Then same thing, less than is going to give us true because it's less than. Okay, then greater than equal to. I also want us to also be careful with greater than equal to. Yeah, let's say
let's say we have let v to be equal to v to be equal to 4 as well. Now you notice that z and v, they have the same value. So is z greater than v is false because they are the same. Notice this is going to give you false. But when you say greater than or equal to, if it fails in the greater than, it will not fail in the equal to. So it's going to be true because because is equal to but not greater than. So the same apply for less than or equal to. Something that fails in the less than, if they are equal, it will not fail in the less than. So the one I want to also talk about is not equal to. So we can say that x and y are not equal. Something like x is not equal to y. Yes, it's true because they are not equal. So that's that. Okay, so that's that for comparison operators. We use that to compare variables, just like I said. Okay, so relax. The last but not the least, so this is the logical operators. What happens in the logical operators is that we are comparing more than one comparison operators. If you notice here, okay, the very last ones are, okay, let me go for the this and this. They have, the first is false, the second is true, which is this and this. So I'm going to take this value which gave false according to here, according to the result on the console. So I'm going to say console.log of what we have here, and then we put or the next one gave true. You get? Okay, let's copy this also. Now what happens in this or operator is checking, is looking out for a truthy. If any one of the side, this is the left hand side, this is the right hand side. So if any one of the side gives birth to a true value, everything is true. If you notice from this, the first one is false, the second is true, so it's going to give us true. Okay, so this might look more confusing. Probably I declare new variable names for that. So I can say let L to be equal to 3, let M to be equal to 4, and then let N to be equal to 5, something like this. And then I can say console.log L is 3 and 3 is less than 4 is true, is less than M, which is 4, is true, or 3, which is L, is greater than M, which is false. So this is going to give us true. You remember I told us that if any side, it could be more than this, so we can have another one. If any one of the side, be it the first, second, and the third, gives birth to a truthy value, irrespective of the number of falsy you have. If you have only one truthy, it returns true. Okay, so let me send something to console. Let me try to make demarcation so you know where this one starts. Okay, yeah, so this is giving us true because one has turned true. Okay, then if that's for logical or, but for the and, the two sides must be true before you see true. This one is much hard in the validation. It's more strict. So if one side is giving true, one side is giving false, everything is false. So for you to have a truthy value when you have this and, this must be true and this must be true. And it's true that L is less than M, which is here. So you can also say that it's true that they are not equal. So it's true and true. Then this will now give us true value. So that's how that works. So just bear in mind that And you might be wondering, where do we use this? If someone wants to log in, it has to be true that the email is correct, and it has to be true that the password is correct. Okay, let's say you are building a game and you want someone that lives in Nigeria and also someone that is above 18 years. So you have to live in Nigeria, you have to be 18. Or if you want for Europeans, you live in Europe, and you have to be above 18. So that's much we can do about logical operators. Watch out for more video. You can subscribe to this channel so that you get notified when you click the notification button. You get notified when new tutorials, when I do new videos, because I'm going to be doing for different topics in JavaScript and also React and Node and different. It could be PHP, it could be Python, it could be any language. So please look out and